All of this deep strike capability is pressurizing Putin into potentially a peace deal. Putin, is sitting there thinking at the minute in his little bubble that he's winning tactically. But it's becoming more and more apparent with the threat that we saw against the May Day parade, with him hiding in his bunker, with the attacks on the oil and gas infrastructure, with the Russian people being denied access to the internet, that Putin knows that the time has come for him to have to try and negotiate something. So he will want to try and take what he's got at the moment, at the very least, to keep a salami slice of Ukraine. And it's that salami slice that, if he gets to keep, the West will hail as peace in our times. Ukraine will go, we've still lost territory. And Putin will go, I just need to lick my wounds, stitch myself together again, and get ready for the next attack. And the next attack, as we think, the commentators are saying, would be up into the Baltics. I don't think so. I think Putin is more likely to go for here, the Caucasus. So why into the Caucasus? Because the Caucasus are traditionally an area that Russia has focused on. We've got the link into Turkey, a NATO country, into the northern Middle Eastern countries and its ally Iran. We've got its link into further control of the Caspian Sea, something we've seen Russia relying on, not just for its northern oil and gas platforms, but its logistic routes from Iran to Russia in resupply of weapons. We've got instability in Georgia, but most importantly, they're not members of NATO. I don't think Putin would be stupid enough to attack into a NATO country in the Baltics and therefore have the potential of triggering an Article 5 response. He knows he can't deal with that. What he wants to do is keep the West thinking and keep the West trying to guess what he's going to do next and keep the West on the back foot. He can do that best by salami slicing. Putin, or Putin's regime, because Putin's not going to last forever. Putin is not dictated by time. He's not dictated by the next election. He's not dictated by who's going to take over from him. He's dictated by what he wants to achieve from a grand strategic perspective. And he's already stated that. That's the regeneration of the old Soviet Union, with him, with his post at the center of it. Those that are likely to take over from him at the moment when Putin goes, whether it be through illness, old age, or other means, are probably as hardline, if not more hardline, than him. So at the moment, the indicators suggest that they would want to continue the same. They can salami slice every 5 years, every 10 years, every 15 years, a little bit more away. So they'll try and salami slice a bit of the Caucasus, maybe then go back to Ukraine, then maybe back to the Caucasus. But all of this time not doing anything that would necessarily trigger Article 5, because they'll depend on reading what Western governments are doing, playing our governments, creating and helping to feed instability both politically and elsewhere. And a lot of that instability is being fed by Russia's CRINC alliances, Russia, Iran, North Korea and China. It's all in their interests. And we're seeing evidence of that at the moment. We're seeing evidence of our political systems playing into what is going to be better for Russia. The UK alone, we have moved from a two-party political framework to a multi-party political framework. It's very easy for Putin to generate something that would support him in a multi-party environment and create disruption through the rest of the political processes, as we've seen him try to do in Europe. We see instability in German politics. We see huge instability in French politics. We're seeing the rise of what are classed as extreme right-wing parties and views elsewhere, causing disruption across Europe. We're seeing disruption in the United States, both in the MAGA movement internally, but also increased separation between Republican and Democrat politics. We're seeing disruption elsewhere. That plays into the CRINC countries and what Putin wants to do. We have to watch that very closely because they think in multi-generational terms and not just in prime ministerial or parliamentary or presidential election terms. And what is fascinating is in 2022, the NATO countries and UK were supporting Ukraine, training Ukrainian soldiers to go to the front line. In 2026, we're now seeing Ukrainian soldiers coming out and educating NATO nations on the use of drones. But not just NATO nations, Middle Eastern nations on the use of drones and countering drones as well. We're getting reports that the Ukrainian infantry are saying the training that they're getting from the West, from NATO countries, does not stand up to the tactics and the drone tactics in particular that are being used on the front lines of Ukraine. We've got the most powerful military and most experienced military in the West in Ukraine, not part of NATO. Does NATO need Ukraine to make sure that its future is certain? All of this is to be decided by the politicians over the coming months and years. Speaking of Iran, as I've been saying, we've got what's going on here. We don't know what Donald Trump is going to do. We've got the issue in the Straits of Hormuz, or Schrodinger's Strait, as I heard Major General Chip Chapman describe it last week. What is going to happen here? Well, the Americans don't quite understand the Iranians. And I think, from a personal perspective, waiting for negotiations isn't going to work. Donald Trump is going to have to start to hit Iran hard. He's already taken out the first and second layers of the government and the first and second layers of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. He needs to take another layer out and try and negotiate with the new team. If that doesn't work, take another layer out and try and negotiate with them. Until he does that and causes Iran to collapse internally, nothing is going to change. Iran thinks in generations. They'll wait. They know Donald Trump has only got 3.5 years left. They'll wait that. They'll keep the strait closed until we see something happening. So we're going to have to get back to a shooting war.